What are the key challenges currently facing Irish food and drink producers?
There's quite a few at the moment, insofar as that we can see that commodity prices globally are under pressure, we'll say, in dairy. It's been a difficult summer in terms of European demand on the meat side, and we continue to have cost inflation, which means that margins are under pressure. But also at the consumer end, the higher prices and inflation, higher interest rates, consumers' purchasing power is under pressure. So that's, if you like, very close to the market in terms of that, all those economic factors. And then, of course, we have shifting attitudes in terms of dietary requirements, and then, of course, we have the whole pressure in trying to meet climate targets and new legislation coming into force that is going to have impact on farms. So taken together, there are quite a few challenges.
There's a lot of environmental pressures on farmers now, but there's also environmental demands coming from the market. So how do you marry those up?
Well, I think it's important to recognise, first of all, that we're in a good place. We have obviously a lot of change to see happening on farm, but we started Origin Green 11 years ago. As you say, we have 55,000 family farms that are part of sustainable assurance schemes. When I meet customers in the marketplace, they talk with envy at how Ireland is joined up in terms of its farming sector, its food sector, the advisory services, Bord Bia, the ICBF, the academic institute. We have, we call our strategy of Origin Green powered by partnership, and there is, a national joined up thinking in trying to make the changes that need to be made to improve our sustainability and to tackle climate change. And that's something that isn't replicated anywhere else, and it's something that I think that isn't always maybe fully appreciated. But the challenges are significant. We see the pressure to try and reach those targets, how we're going to get there. And one of the things that we are doing and we'll be showcasing this down in the ploughing championship next week, is we're working with ICBF and Teagasc on a tool called AgNav. And that is trying to bring together the best of the advice, research, science and practical implementation that each of the Bord Bia, Teagasc and ICBF can bring together under one platform, so that farmers can themselves understand what's happening on their farm, try and scenario plan changes that they might make and see the impact of that. That's a really proactive way of dealing with that. And coupled with that, we're bringing more online tools to the farming sector, so that they can try and understand some of the issues better and try and help them. So I think the coordinated approach that we have, working together on it, is really important, because it is a big challenge. But I think it's really important to remember that the reputation that we have, the detail that we're doing this in, is recognised by customers as being very advanced and something that isn't replicated elsewhere.
And do you think that's really important in order to sustain the family farm in Ireland?
It is absolutely. I can't emphasise enough the impact that has on customers, because customers, big customers around the world have their own targets in terms of trying to achieve net zero by various different dates. So they are looking to their supply chain. They're understanding that the activities that they do in their own businesses will only bring them so far. But what they need to do is that their supply chain, right at primary production, at farm level, is going to have a big impact on what they do. So they're looking to suppliers to be able to help them with that, and they see a really positive story in what Ireland is doing.
Is sustainability the key to driving exports in the future?
It's a very big factor. Obviously, the quality of our product, the innovative solutions that our food companies bring to the marketplace, responding to consumer demand, are all, and obviously price competition is always there, but certainly the demand from the marketplace is looking for more sustainable production.
And when we look at issues like adding new criteria to the Sustainable Dairy Assurance Scheme, why is that important?
Well, it's a competitive world, and there are different production systems around the world, and there are different standards, and standards are compared, and we have to update them to make sure that they're up to date relative to the competition, if you like. So, as well as that, we want to be able to see that what we're doing on farm and the assurance that there's evidence there of the progress, that we want to be able to give evidence to customers that the positive actions that are happening on farm, that there's proof to demonstrate that.
And how important is Origin Green?
I think Origin Green is fundamental. It's called out in Food Vision. It is, as I said earlier, it is recognised by our customers as being completely unique. It is the only type of programme that is national, that there is no other country doing this, where, as I said, all the parts of the supply chain and all the support services around that are linking together to try and achieve that goal.
And in relation to the Bord Bia quality mark, how important is it that consumers trust that?
It's hugely important. We've invested in it for 20 years. We know from the feedback that we get, the research that we do, that it has credibility and it enjoys a very high level of trust, and it does have an impact.
And is it important that retailers then observe that?
It's important that everybody observes that, and that's something that we focus very much on.
And looking to the future, where do you see exports and where do you see food production in Ireland in 5 years' time?
I think we have ambitious targets. Last year we hit a record level of exports. I think this year that's going to be a little bit more challenged because of global markets. But I think we're continuing on this great journey of growing the value of our exports, trying to find better markets, and demonstrating to our customers that we can provide value, innovation, quality, and it's sustainably produced.
And how important are the primary producers in that equation?
They're fundamental. Without them, there isn't an offer.